Here. Here.
Johnston.
Here.
Flores.
Here.
Knopf.
Here.
Black.
Here. Thank you. If you'd please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, after which, if you would remain standing for the invocation, which will be offered by Karen Peace, representing the Baha'i Faith. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
O thou kind Lord, this gathering is turning to thee. These hearts are radiant with thy love. These minds and spirits are exhilarated by the message of thy glad tidings. O God, let this American democracy become glorious in spiritual degrees, even as it has aspired to material degrees, and render this just government victorious. Confirm this revered nation to upraise the standard of the oneness of humanity, to promulgate the most great peace, to become thereby most glorious and praiseworthy among all the nations of the world. O God, this American nation is worthy of thy favors and is deserving of thy mercy. Make it precious and near to thee through thy bounty and bestowal.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I love it when Karen comes with us to us, so thank you, Karen. We'll move on to agenda item number 3 is the consent agenda. The following business items may be approved by one motion and a vote. If any one member of the council so desires, any matter listed can be moved to a separate agenda item. A, minutes. Council may wish to waive the oral reading of the minutes and approve the minutes from December 6, 2018, special city council meeting, December 6, 2018, clarification and regular city council meetings, and December 20, 2018, city council liaison work session clarification meeting. B, treasurer's report. Council may wish to consider the treasurer's report for December showing cash and investments as of December 31, 2018. Good evening, Joyce.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. Joyce Stroshine, Chief Financial Officer for the city. Tonight I'm presenting the treasurer's report for the month of December. Okay, total cash and cash equivalents represent 90% of the city's money, totaling $43,229,976. Long-term investments. Total long-term investments represent 10% of the city's monies, totaling $4,704,492. So total cash equivalents, and long-term investments, $47,934,468. This amount is down $45,154 for the month of December. On page 2 of the report, I've highlighted key receipts for the month. Transit grant federal, $125,664. Idaho Transportation Department Greenway Trail, $159,834. Transit grant state of Idaho, $200,203. And the remaining section is the analysis of reconciliation for cash for the month. Okay, page 3 is the report on the trust funds. We have total cash and cash equivalents, $1,094,081. Total long-term investments, $3,976,608. For total cash equivalents, and long-term investments, $5,070,689. Total cash receipts for the month are $27,856. Total cash disbursements for the month are $55,007. And then the net change in long-term investments was an increase of $4,007 for an overall decrease of the month of $23,143. Page 4 of the report. This report lists all the funds, cash balances, with their respective net change for the month. I've highlighted the general fund that had an ending cash balance of $5,839,176, and this represents a net decrease of $872 $2,449 for the month. On page 5 of the report is the discussion and analysis for your review. And then page 6 of the report is the 5-year trend of cash balances. Okay, this report reflects a strong cash position. What I mean by that is we are healthy, our reserves are at the appropriate levels, and so we could weather downturns in revenues, unexpected downturns. So that's where you want to be as a city. You want to have healthy reserves. So, and it also meets our reserve policy. So we're not trying to keep more than we need to. If we have excess reserves, we allow departments to expend the excess for capital needs. And so that's how we manage through this. And that also helps to facilitate the budget in the end. And then we have two funds that have negative balances. We have transit and CDBG. Now these are grant funds, so they have pending receivables because they are grant reimbursement programs. So we expend and then we get reimbursed in the following month. So this is a healthy report once again. Are there any questions?
Any questions for Joyce? Thank you, Joyce.
Thank you.
Move to C, Historic Preservation Commission reappointment. Council may wish to confirm that the mayor's reappointment of Stephanie Christie Lowe to continue her service as a member of the Historic Preservation Commission. Dr. Christie Lowe's term will begin February 5, 2019 and will expire February 5, 2022. D, Pocatello Regional Airport Commission appointment. Council may wish to confirm the mayor's appointment of Molly Swallow to serve as a member of the Pocatello Regional Airport Commission, replacing Bryce Church, whose term expired. Ms. Swallow's term will begin January 18, 2019 and will expire January 18, 2021. E, BID Management Agreement, Old Town Pocatello. Council may wish to approve the renewal of the management agreement with Old Town Pocatello subject to legal department review to administer and manage the operations of the Business Improvement District, BID. Council may also wish to acknowledge that they have reviewed the employment agreement with Stephanie Pelagi with Old Town Pocatello as provided for management agreement.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the consent agenda as presented.
We have a motion by President Johnston and a second by Councilwoman Manon.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
before we vote, I'd like to remove the minutes from this vote. I was not present at 2 of the meetings the minutes are here for, and I'm not comfortable voting for approval of those minutes.
So,
You know if you weren't there.
See if you would amend his motion to not include.
would you be interested in amending your motion to remove agenda item 3A?
And at what point would we reconsider those approval of those minutes? The following meeting?
Very next, we would do that. We'd remove them, vote on B through E, and then look at a motion to vote on A.
I acknowledge the request from Councilman Cheatham and would change my motion to reflect that.
Would the second be okay with that?
Yes, that'll be fine.
Okay, so the amended motion from Council President Johnston and second by Councilwoman Manon would be to approve B through E?
Correct.
Okay. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Johnston,
Yes.
Manon,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Cheatham,
Yes.
Lurick,
Yes.
Okay, now I would entertain a motion on consent on agenda item 3A.
Mr. Mayor, I'm going to recuse myself from that vote for the same reason previously given.
Okay.
So if you recuse yourself.
If he recuses himself, I'm looking for a motion to approve the minutes.
I move we approve the minutes.
Okay,
Second.
super. We have a motion by Bray and a second by Johnston on 3A, to approve 3A. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Gray,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Lurick,
Yes.
Manon,
Yes.
We can really confuse things up here. That's great.
I hope
We got
that's
through it,
the
though.
most complicated thing we do tonight.
I hope it is too. I hope it's the most complicated.
But I don't think it will.
We'll see. We'll see as the time goes by. We'll move to agenda item number 4 is communications and proclamations. We have no proclamations, and I don't see any scouts out there right now, so we'll just move to agenda item 5, which is a calendar review. Council may wish to take this opportunity to inform other council members of upcoming meetings and events that should be called to their attention. On January 29 at 2 p.m. will be a joint Cities County School District meeting at Chubbuck City offices. On January 29, there will be a town hall meeting on the Ross Park Master Plan right here in the council chambers at 6 p.m. On January 31st, 9 a.m. will be a special city council meeting. Discuss council's mission statement, values, goals, and vision statement for the city, held in Paradise Conference Room. On February 7 at 5:30 p.m. will be a clarification meeting. February 7 at 6 p.m. will be a regular city council meeting. February 14 at 9 a.m. will be a work session. Other events will be, city offices will be closed on January 21st for Martin Luther King Jr. Day. However, garbage and recycle pickups will be on schedule. Winter programs are happening at Zoo Idaho. Contact the zoo office for more information. And snow removal reminder, when clearing sidewalks and/or driveways, do not place the snow in the streets. It becomes a driving hazard. We'll move to agenda item number 6 is a public hearing, vacation of easement at 2771 Bannock Highway. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public concerning a request from Harold and Roger Armstrong to vacate and remove an access and utility easement at 2771 Bannock Highway. All right, I declare the public hearing opened. Council, has there been any ex parte communication or contact on this agenda item? Okay. In just a minute, who are you?
Harold Armstrong.
Okay, you are the applicant, it sounds like. So right now is your opportunity to come up to the microphone right here. And we'll give you up to 10 minutes. You don't have to take it all if you don't want to, but you have 10 minutes to explain what you're doing here. And if you just state your name and does he need to write his stuff on the board?
No, but
okay.
I will, when you have 3 minutes left, it will show up there. I'll start that counter. I'll be for your 10 minutes, okay?
Well, this is a very simple vacation of easement. It was originally established to provide access to my brother's property in the back of my property. And he has subsequently acquired some other property for an easement to South Grant. So the easement is no longer required for him to access his property via my private driveway. I think it's that simple.
It's that simple? That didn't take a minute, I don't think. Council, do you have any questions?
So is he the other signator on this
Yes.
application? Okay.
Looks to me like it's an amazing accommodation within a family. Doesn't always work that way, does it?
I accommodated him, now he's accommodating me.
That's right. That would be a win-win. Okay, any other questions? All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Staff?
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. Carl Anderson with the City of Pocatello for the record. You have before you for consideration petition to vacate an access and utility easement designated on the Armstrong Legacy Subdivision Division 1 as requested by Mr. Harold Armstrong. The existing subdivision encompasses 0.98 acres more or less in a zone residential medium density multifamily. The subject easement is shown as a 20-foot wide access utility easement crossing Lot 2, Block 1 to Lot 3, Block 1. There is no public infrastructure located within the subject easement. Access and utilities to Lot 3, Block 1 are proposed from Grant Avenue. A short plat is required, as outlined by Condition 3 in the staff report, to subdivide the property located to the west of the Armstrong Legacy subdivision, currently owned by the Armstrong Family Trust, in order to formalize access from Grant Avenue, as well as to bring the property into compliance with Pocatello Municipal Code Title 16. All noticing requirements have been met and no public comment has been received at this time. Staff has reviewed the application and concludes that the proposal is compliant with the applicable standards of municipal and state code, assuming the conditions in the staff report are met. This concludes my presentation, and I'm happy to answer any questions that the council may have. Merrill Quell is also available from engineering to answer any questions.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Then we would, I'm sorry, has there been any correspondence that we have not seen? But I want to.
There have been no comments received. We did receive comment back from Bannock Metropolitan Planning Organization and our engineering department.
Perfect. Have we received any in the clerk's office?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, then we would look for any testimony supporting the application, any testimony uncommitted to the application, any testimony opposed to the application. Okay, then I'm just going to jump down here and close the public hearing. I declare the public hearing closed. Council, this item is before you. How do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I would move that we approve the application, agenda item number 6.
Second.
Subject to, yeah.
Conditions. The conditions in the staff
Oh, yeah,
report.
subject to the conditions specified.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Cheatham and a second by Johnston. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Lurick,
Yes.
Manon.
Yes.
Thank you. We'll move to agenda item number 7 is public hearing, reconsideration request of hearing examiner's decision, Nils Bilo sign. This time has been set aside for council to hear comments from the public regarding a request by Barry Dutton of Nils Bilo, represented by Rick Millward of R&P Quality Lighting, for a reconsideration request of the hearing examiner's decision from December 13, 2018, where the hearing examiner denied Mr. Dutton's request for an electronic message display on an existing legal non-conforming sign. I declare the public hearing open. Council, has there been any ex parte communication or contact? Okay, then I would look for the applicant. Is either Barry or Rick?
Hi, I'm Rick Millward with R&P Quality Lighting. If I could bring the council's attention to the letters. First of all, you should have 2 that are,
Rick, I'll remind you, you have 10 minutes.
okay.
And I'll start
think
the
I
clock
can
on your last
mention.
3 minutes.
Yeah, you'll.
Okay,
and,
yeah. If I can bring your attention to the hearing examiner's report, and also we had a couple of letters in the support of it that went through the Planning and Zoning Commission. We also have one more. Can I bring this up to you? This is one of the adjoining property owners. We had absolutely no negative comments with this sign after sending out this report says 43, but I believe there were 63 letters sent out twice for the sum of about $700 in permits, fees with it. But one of the biggest things in this, if we go to the hearing examiner's report in attachment C, page 2 of 7, or well, the exception sought should be the result of unique physical characteristics of the site in question. The staff analysis is that there are no unique physical characteristics of the site. And I have to disagree with that because I'm sure most of you are familiar with Nels Bilo that's been there more than 80 years. And 15th Street is now quite a bit above grade on Centerline than not only the store, but the parking lot all the way through. The parking lot now is at capacity for spaces. And to what the staff is saying here is the LED board is a big deal. They want us to put a monument sign in there. If we put a monument sign in, drop it back for the sight triangles, not only visible from, it's not visible from 15th Street going south because of the cars parked there, but it takes up 2 more parking spots, and where they were putting their snow, it takes that away from it too. And you know, we have the drainage issues are going all different ways, so that's one unique characteristic. And then the business has been there so long. All we're seeking to do is improve the safety, appearance, and efficiency of the existing sign. Not only does an LED board enhance that and improve efficiency more, but it also makes it ADA compliant and accessible to handicapped persons or anyone. I don't know if any of you have ever tried to take a 20-foot pole and stick an 8-inch letter on a sign, you know, but if you're not in pretty good shape, you can't do it. And these LED boards, these operate off of remote control. They're compliant with all the other LED specifications with the photocells, that they're not bright. When we set them up, there you will look up there. This is a text-only board, and it'll look just like text on it. And of course, the board will only be operating during business hours. There is no one that has complained about the board whatsoever, and we've sent letters to everyone twice. You know, we have, as you see, we've received 3 comments, and I think we're going to receive some further public comment on it. But this is a small business, and any help that the city can do with 15th Street. We all know how busy 15th Street is, although we're in a residential there. Where Nels is, across the street, is commercial, you know, and there's so much traffic on there. To drop that board down and make it compliant rather than just replace what's there, which will actually be a smaller sign and much more visually appealing, is just, there's no sense to it. They wouldn't be able to see the board at all, much less, and also make it much more subject to vandalism and damage from the weather, because that's where they have to pile the snow, you know. It's either that or put the snow on the street, which of course we can't do that, and it also takes away from the parking, which code also states the number of spaces they have to have for that. You know, on a more personal note, and kind of digressing a little bit, our sign code has, and we've all been through this before, and we need to work on it a little more with more input from the community and sign contractors and business. And I know Matt and there's a lot of resources out there for helping us with those sign codes, and we can look at the trial and error that other communities have done and not make the same mistakes ourselves, which right now we're going down that path. It's kind of, you know, ridiculous in my eyes, some of these things that we do. Is just, we changed a little bit here and we changed a little bit there to meet, you know, whoever's screaming loudest at the time, I guess. But I think something needs to be done with that. But in this case, it's an existing small business, and the pole sign is already there. All we're going to do is dress it up a little bit and make it more visually appealing to everyone. And there's been no, I'd say absolutely no complaints. And I thank you for your time.
Okay, well, we got a question for you.
Is the current sign lighted?
It is. Yeah. Yeah, it's lighted above and below. You should have photos there, Roger. I have some here if you do not.
I got a photo of this sign, but it's daytime, so I can't tell.
Oh, okay, yeah. It's lit up, kind of. We'll put LEDs in there, and it will drop it to a tenth of the power consumption that it's using now. Plus, it's a much more visually appealing light, not the big billboards that are blinding you going down the road. But yes, sir.
What are the current store hours?
Barry could probably better address that than me. I believe till 9:30, isn't it, Barry?
Well, no, we're just 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Saturday, and we're closed Sundays.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Thank you.
Thank you.
Staff.
Good evening, Mayor, council members. Matthew Lewis, Senior Planner for the City of Pocatello. As noted in the agenda and application, this is a reconsideration request for an electronic message display on an existing 16-foot tall pole sign. Municipal Code 1520.250 does not allow electronic message displays on non-conforming signs. At a public hearing on December 13th, 2018, the hearing examiner denied the request. His findings of fact and decision are provided in your packet. The subject site is located at 333 North 15th Avenue, which is within a residential medium-density multifamily zoning district. Thus, the business is grandfathered. Municipal Code 1520.170 allows businesses located within residential zoning districts 132 square foot monument sign that is no more than 6 feet tall per street frontage plus 132 square foot wall sign per street frontage. Business is located at an intersection, so they can have one monument sign on each street and one wall sign facing each street. The existing pole sign is legal non-conforming. They can change the sign provided the size and height are not increased, but adding an electronic message display is not allowed by code. 2 public comments in support of the reconsideration have been received and are included in your packet. No comments in opposition have been received, and there have not been any additional comments received by staff as of the meeting tonight. This concludes my presentation. I'd be happy to answer any questions you may have.
Questions?
It was inferred that you were trying to get them to put in 2 monument signs, but you were just, as I read through this, you were just saying what is allowed if they're going to make changes. And but also, since it's grandfathered, you also mentioned they can change the existing sign, right?
They can change the existing sign. So if they came in with a permit and said, hey, we want to, put in a new sign that has Nell's bylaw on there, and it did not exceed the existing height and the existing the size. So say the size was 50 square feet. Staff would be able to approve that because it's grandfathered.
Any other questions for staff?
Thank you.
Okay. Have we received any comment other than this? Any correspondence?
No, sir.
Okay, then I'd like to read this into the record. Pocatello City Council. 2 Pocatello City Council members. I own the home located at 253 North 15th Avenue in Pocatello, Idaho, which is the residence at the corner of Lander and 15th Avenue, just across the street from Bilo Market parking lot. Our house is the closest residence to this location. I understand Barry Dutton, the owner of Bilo Market, would like to place a new sign at this location. I have received information from the city of Pocatello describing the sign and its location and offer my full consent and support for a new sign for his business. The old sign is in poor condition and needs to be replaced. A new sign would improve the quality and appearance of the market and the neighborhood. I don't believe there would be any negative impact of this new sign at this location. Bilo Market is a good neighbor for the residents in our community, and I support their location and improvements to the neighborhood. Sincerely, David T. Flint, with a whole bunch of MED, BSHS, and other things. So there's that record for you to in. Then with that, I would look for any testimony supporting the application. Any testimony uncommitted to the application? Any testimony opposed to the application? Okay, with that, you don't have a whole lot of rebuttal, it doesn't look like, so.
The only rebuttal that.
Well, come on up here if you want to rebut.
Mr. Blatt, the biggest issue at this point seems to be, as you brought up, Mr. Brave, was the sign that we're going to replace this with, or we would like to, is actually smaller in square footage. The big issue is the reader board. And the reader board that we will put up is actually smaller than the one that's there. But like I say, it's much more accessible and, programmable. And I mean, it's off at 8 o'clock at night or 8:30 and from 7 in the morning. And it's much more user friendly than what we have there. To put in monument signs, as is suggested, one for each frontage, it would be very impractical for one. The only other frontage is Lander, at that intersection, and then we're taking up even more of the parking spaces and such. But thanks again.
Will this sign have the ambient light detector?
Yes, as per code now. It's a photocell that adjusts the brightness per ambient light, and also they are adjustable by hand. If the ambient light, and sometimes this will happen from just reflections off of different things, we can go in and adjust it with a light meter and set it to make up for anything like that.
Have you reviewed those city code restrictions with the owner of the sign?
I have, yes, sir.
Okay.
Any other questions?
One question, are you proposing to turn it off or dim it all the way down during?
At night, after 8 at night, it'll be turned off.
Okay.
It's only going to be open during business hours, so it'll be off on Sundays. It'll run Monday through Saturday during business hours.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I declare the public hearing closed. Council, this item's before you. How do you wish to proceed?
Mr. Mayor.
Council President Johnson.
I move that we grant an exception to the sign ordinance. I think this is a very valuable sign, and it's in an area of considerable transition on a busy street, and the sign needs to be modernized, and this would improve the neighborhood. And so I think we can justify making an exception based on those facts.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion by Johnston and a second by Cheatham. Is there any discussion?
Would it be helpful if I added to that the sign only operate between 7 a.m. and 8 p.m.?
That's in the conditions of the hours.
Is that, I think that's the
Add a
hours.
condition if you want.
You'd like to add that condition?
I'd like to add that to the motion.
And you're okay with
Yes.
that second?
Yes.
Okay. Then we have a motion by Council President Johnston and a second by Cheatham. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Johnston.
Yes.
Cheatham.
Yes.
Brave.
No.
Lurick.
Yes.
Manon?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Motion passes. We'll move to agenda item 8, short plat, Noblich Townhouse Subdivision. Ramona Noblich, represented by Crystal Chanda of A&E Engineering, has submitted a short plat application to subdivide 0.25 acres, more or less, into 2 townhouse lots. The subdivision is to be known as Noblich Townhouse Subdivision and is a replat of Lot 3, Block 1, Division of Lot 9, Block 1, East Cedar Park Subdivision. Looking for a motion, if you have questions.
I move we approve the request.
I second.
We have a motion by Council President Johnston and a second by Manon. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Johnston?
Yes.
Manon?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Lurick?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 9, Copper Creek subdivision request for city to accept improvements for public ownership and maintenance. Kilgore Properties Incorporated, represented by Rocky Mountain Engineering and Surveying, has submitted a request for the city of Pocatello to accept Copper Creek subdivision improvements for public ownership and maintenance.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the request subject to the conditions that have been presented and any legal issues that might be involved.
I second.
We have a motion by President Johnston and a second by Manon. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Johnston?
Yes.
Manon?
Yes.
Gray?
Yes.
Cheatham?
Yes.
Lurick?
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 10, fuel tank exception request 455 West Lewis Street. Council may wish to approve a request from CenturyLink, represented by Brad Kaufman, for an exception to City Code 15.12.080 that restricts the capacity of an above-ground fuel tank. City code limits tank capacity to 1,000 gallons, and CenturyLink would like to install one 1,007-gallon diesel fuel tank at their facility located at 455 West Lewis Street that exceeds the allowed capacity. Fire department staff has reviewed the application and supports the request, subject to the applicant meeting city code requirements.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilman Cheatham?
Go ahead, Mina.
No, go ahead.
I'd move to approve agenda item number 10, subject to the applicant meeting the city code requirements as specified.
Second.
We have a motion by Cheatham and a second by Manon.
Question. Is there any reason why we have the limit to 1,000? Is there someone in the audience that could handle that?
We actually have a member of the staff here that can answer that question.
And he's very bright, I know that.
He was questioning the Bright statement on his way up here.
Glenn Powell, Pocatello Fire Department, Fire Prevention Bureau, and Code Enforcement Officer. To answer your question, I have researched that since coming into the office about 4 years ago, and I can't find any reason or any history as to why that was in there. It is speculated that it was due to the codes at the time that we had effectively cut and pasted from international the Uniform Fire Code into city code. Little by little, we've altered and changed some of those over the years, but that's the best answer or the best guess that we have for it.
But this tank would be totally safe.
Absolutely. It's a UL 142 listed tank. It's built and designed for the purpose that they're using it. CenturyLink is installing a backup generator, which is, in this instance, a federal mandate. Given that they provide 911 services and phone services, they are required to have 72 hours worth of backup power. This generator will do that, but it's going to have a 1,700-gallon fuel tank in order to do it. But it'll meet the tank is completely safe, and as long as they meet the other codes, protecting it from vehicle impact and things like that was what the other comment in the report was.
Thank you very much. I appreciate
What
that.
is the fire code? Is there a different amount for a tank now in the fire code? Or is there any amount?
No, the the codes now are based on a whole handful of parameters, including zoning, excuse me, zoning, what they're being used for, the type of fuel it is, and that sort of thing. Overall, what the codes lead me to believe is that we just want to make sure that we're keeping track of where potential hazards are, such that if we have a tank in a given location, we don't try to open up a daycare or something next to it whereby the two different entities could conflict. So.
Any other questions? Thank you, Glenn.
Thank you.
So we have a motion by Cheatham and a second by Manon. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Cheatham,
Yes.
Manon,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Lurick,
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 11, Idaho Parks and Recreation Department grant applications. Council may wish to approve the following grant applications to the Idaho Parks and Recreation Department, subject to legal department review, and authorize the mayor to sign documents related to the grants if awarded. A canoe trail. Projects include a trail with installation of canoe kayak tubing put-ins along the Portneuf River in the amount of up to $25,000 with a 20% city match in addition to in-kind services. Funds are available in the Science and Environment Division fiscal year 2019 budget. B, Old Town Connection Trail. This will be a 300-foot connection between 1st and 2nd Avenue along the Benton Bridge and will cost approximately $50,000. Local match is 20%, which would primarily consist of staff time, and any remaining funds will be taken from Fund 70. C, East Mink Creek Nordic Ski Area Groomer. Purchase of a new snowcat groomer in the amount of $229,128 for the Nordic Center. City funds in the amount of $60,000 and Ski Foundation donations in the amount of $4,500 are available for the purchase. Part of the city's commitment can come from the trading in of the existing machine.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
I move that we approve the following grant applications to the Idaho Parks and Recreation Department, subject to legal department review, and authorize the mayor to sign documents related to the grants. The following are Canoe Trail, Old Town Connection Trail, and East Mink Creek Nordic Ski Area Groomer.
We have a motion by Lurick and a second by Bray.
I have a question.
We have a question.
As I add this up, it's $229,000 for the groomer, and we have about $64,500 mentioned here in resources. Is anybody here that can point out the difference?
John?
Is the trade-in going to make that up?
It's part of the grant.
Okay, but
Yeah, good evening, Mayor and council members. John Banks, Parks and Recreation Director. Councilmember Gray, the $300,000 is kind of roughly the approximate cost of the machine, so it would be the Idaho Parks and Rec grant of that roughly $230-ish plus the $60-ish remaining gets us up to about $300. It's a combination of the two.
so it's all three will take care
Correct.
of it? Okay.
Yes.
Super. Thank you. Okay, then we have a motion by Lurick and a second by Bray. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Lurick,
Yes.
Gray,
Yes.
Cheatham,
Yes.
Johnston,
Yes.
Manon,
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 12, Professional Services Agreement, Biota Research and Consulting Incorporated. Council may wish to authorize the execution of a professional services agreement between the City of Pocatello and Biota Research and Consulting Incorporated, subject to legal department review. The service provided will be steam restoration design on a 300-foot section of Pocatello Creek located near Fire Station Number 3 on Pocatello Creek Road. Funds for the execution of the stream restoration design in the amount of $9,210 are available within the Science and Environmental Division 2019 fiscal year budget.
Mr. Mayor.
Councilman Bray.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the professional service agreement for some restoration of Pocatello Creek.
Second.
We have a motion by Bray and a second by Lurick. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Gray.
Yes.
Lurick.
Yes.
Cheatham.
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
Manon.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 13, piggyback lease purchase street department. Council may wish to consider the recommendations of street department staff for the following request regarding the purchase of equipment from Western States Equipment. A, piggyback bid on a City of McCall bid for the purchase of a 2018 Caterpillar road grader in the amount of $299,209. And if approved, B, approve a 5-year lease agreement of annual payments in the amount of $33,363 and authorize the mayor's signature on documents related to the purchase, subject to legal department review. The agreement includes a guaranteed buyback in the amount of $185,000. Funds are available in the street department 2019 fiscal year budget. Councilman Bray.
Mr. Mayor, I move that we approve the piggyback lease purchase put forth by the street department, subject to legal department approval.
Second.
We have a motion by Bray and a second by Johnston. Connie, could you?
I only have one concern. We have had some concern relative to the interest rate. I would like to make my second subject to a satisfaction understanding of what the interest rate's going to be. Is that all right?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so is that an amendment to the motion?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Who would you like to approve that? Does that need to come back before council now?
Would you like staff to do that, or would you like it to come back in front of council? Would you like
I think
staff to just
staff
provide
understanding.
staff understanding, and then they can give us an idea of what that is?
Move ahead with it.
Okay. So we have a motion by Bray and a second by Johnston. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Gray.
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
Cheatham.
Yes.
Lurick.
Yes.
Manon.
Yes.
Thank you. Agenda item 14, hydraulic dredging system bid, WPC department. Council may wish to accept the recommendations of Water Pollution Control WPC staff and award the bid for a new and unused hydraulic dredging system, 15-foot depth, to Liquid Waste Technology, DBA Elica Dredge Technology, in the amount of $208,706. If approved, council may wish to authorize the mayor's signature on documents related to the bid, subject to legal department review. Funds are available in the WPC fiscal year 2019 budget.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilwoman Lurick.
I move that we approve the recommendations of the Water Pollution Control staff and award the bid for a new and unused hydraulic dredging system to Liquid Waste Technology, DBA Ellicott Dredge Technologies, in the amount of $280,706. And authorize the mayor's signature on documents related to the bid, subject to legal department review. Second.
We have a motion by Lurick and a second by Manon. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Lurick.
Yes.
Manon.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Cheatham.
Yes.
Johnston.
Yes.
Agenda item 15, request for council support regarding construction of a multi-use pathway. The Portneuf Greenway Foundation is seeking council support to submit a grant application to the Idaho Department of Parks and Recreation in the amount of $250,000, and if awarded, authorize the mayor's signature, subject to legal department review on documents related to the grant for construction of a multi-use pathway traveling north from Fort Hall Mine Road to Pocatello Creek Road. Grant funds will be used to grade, gravel, and pave the path. Matching funds will come from the Portneuf Greenway Foundation and in-kind donations from private organizations. The City of Pocatello will have full ownership of the path upon completion.
Mr. Mayor, I move we approve the request, only substituting in $300,000 rather than the $250,000.
Can we do that, or?
Did we find out that that information was more accurate?
I'm getting told no, and so we probably need to stay at the $250,000 because.
Okay. 50,000 here, 50,000 there.
I second.
Okay, so the motion would be then for
250,000.
Council support regarding an amount for up to 250,000 or 250,000. And the second was from Lurick. So Council President Johnson made the motion. Councilwoman Lurick seconded the motion.
Mayor signed it. Was there a motion to dismiss?
Subject to your
Authorize the mayor.
authorization and legal department, anything else that's pertinent.
And you're still good with that?
Yes.
Okay.
I do not should I need. No, I'm
Yeah.
kidding.
I would recommend it at this point. It's been a long night. Connie, could you please call the roll?
Johnston.
Yes.
Lurick.
Yes.
Gray.
Yes.
Cheatham.
Yes.
Manon.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Agenda item 16, discussion items. This time has been set aside to hear discussions on items not listed on the agenda. Items which appear somewhere else on the agenda will not be discussed at this time. The council is not allowed to take any official action at this meeting on matters brought forward under this agenda item. Items will either be referred to the appropriate staff or scheduled on a subsequent agenda. You must sign in at the start of the meeting in order to be recognized. As a reminder, there's a total time limit of 15 minutes for this agenda item and 3 minutes per person. Cindy Moore.
Sorry, I feel like I'm in speech class all over. It's like, I gotta breathe. Okay. Cindy Moore, 1415 North Harrison. You should recognize me. I am the lady with the fence in the middle of the shared driveway. You will not know me. You were not here for any of the meetings under that. So, I got this in front of a judge again, and the judge told me that, Mr. Mayor, you should have took care of this the first day I brought it in front of you. But I was not forceful enough with you, is what I was told. So, in my belief, you know, Mr. Transtrom never did his job, and I have to question why the man would park at the convenience store, sneak in the back gate, and let the neighbor know that I've called code enforcement on him. Do you find that appropriate for the head of the building department? Also, when I called the cops and asked for help with problems over the driveway, a supervisor told me, well, ma'am, it might be in your best interest to go ahead and commit the felony to get this into court. I don't find that appropriate either. I'm sorry, I don't. Also, the last time I was here, one of you guys actually apologized for letting it get this far. Kind of tells me that you had the right to do something, but you didn't. I tried to get in front of the grievance committee, but I wasn't allowed because, oh, it wouldn't affect me. Well, then how come I had to get a court order to ensure that I can park in my driveway and use my driveway to the fullest extent every single day, 24/7, okay? So I ask you, you know, now's the best time to revoke the permit because the man died. He's not there anymore. There's no backlash. And I'm willing to do the work to get the fence out of the driveway, no cost, okay? Because it will help me get my property value back up. So this is me being forcefully requesting, okay, for the judge. Please, man up. Be the people that were elected to be on this committee. Be the people that were elected, appointed, however you got there. Because if you're not, then all you've done is made this council as worthless as everybody told me it was the first time I came here. Okay? So either step up or get out, because if not, we ain't got a chance to go forward. So please, if you can, do something before I have to start fighting with a new neighbor. I don't want to have to do that. Okay? So please, step up. Thank you.
Thank you. Andy Mollenhauer.
Mayor and Council, Andy Moldenhauer, Pocatello Firefighters Local 187. I just wanted to let you guys know that we're about to start our annual fundraising for the firefighter stair climb in Seattle. We'll be kicking that off this year at Gold's Gym on the 24th and the 25th. We'll be doing it on the 24th from 8 to noon and on the 25th from 4 to 8. And what we'll be doing is, for the bargain price of $5, you'll be able to spend 5 minutes wearing turnout gear and a pack on a stair mill to help raise money to go to the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society. We'll still be doing our annual fundraiser that we do at Fred Meyer every year, but the date for that will be to be announced. We haven't set it yet.
Okay, so you haven't changed the Fred Meyer to Gold's Gym. Okay.
We have not. We're just running multiple fundraisers to try to send as much money back there for the society as we can.
Is it
with the team.
January 24th and 25th?
Yes, it will be January 24th and 25th, so it'll be next week.
Will the firefighters participating be on duty or off duty?
These guys are going to be off duty, and we've traditionally done that for this event. We've had, in fact, both of them with the stair climb event at Fred Meyer, and with this one. And what we'll be doing at Gold's Gym is it will be the public doing the stair climb stuff rather than us. It'll be paying $5 to hop on a stair mill and wear that stuff. When we do it in Fred Meyer, then it is our personnel only, and those guys are there on their volunteer time.
You'd accept my $5 if I didn't put on the gear?
And we'd be glad to take your money any way we can get it.
I was going to say, Andy, take 10 to keep him out of the gear.
So, right, that's all I have.
Sounds good. And then you don't have a date on the Fred Meyer one?
I do not, but I think it'll probably be after the next council meeting, so hopefully I'll be able to give you an update on February 7th.
Sounds good. And then do we know how many of our firefighters are going to go up to do the stair?
You know what? I'm not positive this year. We actually are going to have a little bit smaller team than we've had historically. The event has a very strong following. It sells out within minutes when they open it, and so this year we just weren't able to get as many guys into it. It's also a fairly large commitment from our members because we do all this fundraising for the society, but when the guys go over there to participate in the actual event, they do that on their own time and on their own dime, and so they get a little bit of help from the local for travel expenses, but otherwise they're there spending their own money to be able to participate in that event.
So for the people out there, it's a great fundraiser. The people out there that don't know much about it, how many flights are they climbing? And
oh, geez. Why'd you ask me that? It's the second tallest building west of the Mississippi. It's in the Columbia Center, and I'm wanting to say it's somewhere around 70 flights.
I was going to say, I think it's 73 is what I've heard before.
Yeah, it is a very impressive building, and it's a pretty interesting event. The guys go there, and when they go up it, they're wearing full SCBA and turnouts and climbing it up it in full gear. Basically a race to the top. We've had some guys that over the last couple of years have actually posted some pretty interesting times, close to the top 20, which is pretty impressive.
That's great.
So.
It's a neat thing. I think you ought to charge Council President Johnson $10 to stay out of your gear, though. I think that would be great.
Duly noted. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That is all we have for agenda item number 6. I would like to thank the council. It has been a long day. We had some meetings that started early this afternoon, and we're still here. So thank you for your work tonight, council. With that, we are adjourned.